time it is. It is time for another episode of the Texas on 3 podcast show, man. Today we got a good one for y'all, man. For all the Texas fans out there, we know that minicamp started and, all kind of stuff went on today. So, hey, we're going to be chopping it up on that, man. I'm talking about we chomping at the bit. I got to bring my guys up here with me, man. Y'all know if I'm in the building, man, y'all know I got to have that guy, Patton, in the building, the mailman, a.k.a. the streets, also a.k.a. is in the building, and y'all know what this is, man, and y'all already know, man. If you see Patton, man, you know we got Stringer Barksdale Stansfield in the building, man. Y'all know. Hey, explain. I mean, for some of y'all, I'm pretty sure that don't even have to be explained. It had to be explained to me. I'm sorry. I got to put myself out there. I ain't gonna watch The Wire like that, y'all. I don't watch all the. Believe me, it ain't like I got a problem with watching certain shows. So don't be like, hey, this dude ain't seen The Wire. Man, I watch everything, man.
You don't watch everything because you ain't watched The Wire.
I know. I don't know why I did not catch The Wire, y'all, but it's one of them shows that I know that when I do finally get a chance to watch it, I'm gonna enjoy it because everybody talks so much about it. And
out there, man.
So you already know, man. Killer Cam, man. Hey,
put the word out there, B.
It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood.
Hey, put the word out there. My boys just told me, said that on that, if y'all don't know the little meme thing where you see the dude talking about we back up and they put different teams up there and stuff like that, that's where that comes from. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, learn something new today, man. And also what y'all gonna learn today, man, is for real. We got a guest on here today. I'm pretty sure if y'all was on X, y'all already know. It's a friend to the show, man. We tried to bring him on before, but we had technical difficulties. And we finally got him back, man. He's big in the Texas community, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? He chops it up with the owners all the time. I've never really seen nobody just really get that up and close and personal with the owners. Maybe we can ask him some questions that, other people don't get to know about Cal and Hannah over there. But anyway, man, we'd like to welcome to the show, man. Let's give a big hand to Big Sarge.
Hey, what's going on, man?
You know what I'm saying? Big
what's up, man?
To the Sarge, you know what I'm saying? I had to put on some fatigues today, man. I got my hat on, everything, man. So I'm going to war. You know what I'm saying? We got Sarge on the show today, man. It is good to have you on here, man. We want to give you another hand.
Hey, Nitty.
What's the dealio?
Hey, great to see Big Sarge here, man. But if I see your ass on CNN chasing people, I'm just gonna leave it at that. Hey, bro, you're wrong. You're wrong. Leave them people alone, man. Let Trump handle that.
Sarge out of reserve, man. I don't know. They may do that, but
he talking about you, Nitty. You around here looking like a no limit soldier.
Hey, I was just looking. I was in the closet and I said, "Man, what can I put on for the show today?" And this shirt just screamed out at me and said, "Hey, you already know you got Sarge on there, man. You got to come correct." So,
hey, wait, hold on real quick. Hey, Pat, he looked like he want to say, "I'm the colonel of the no limit tank."
On the tank, he's gonna go crazy.
That's how I should have started off the show, man. But
Shout out to Dr. Payne. He said street military nitty.
Hey, for real.
No. Brandon got it. Brandon said, "Why did he look like he been stopping riots, bro?"
Hey, what did I just say, man? If I see Nitty on CNN chasing them people down.
Hey, I thought you were saying that to Sarge, my man.
No, if I see you on CNN chasing people down, jumping out that little white van, I'm gonna say you're wrong, brother.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie, man. I can't be involved in that though, man.
I know that's right, bro.
Most definitely, man. We appreciate everybody who's joined the show. Big shout out to the Bull Ring, man. We know that y'all are gonna be, involved in the show. Let me make sure that y'all comments will be popping up on stage. Okay, there we go. So any comments that come up, y'all will be popping up on stage. We are also, if we got any questions or anything for Sarge, make sure y'all put them in the Bull Ring and we will get to them as soon as we can. But Big Sarge, today we're gonna start off with you, minicamp.
Yeah.
What was some of the highlights or some of the things that you were looking for today in minicamp that kind of quenched your thirst of worries or not worries that you may have had today?
Well, one of the things that that I have not been worried about because the sky hasn't been falling for me as far as CJ Stroud not throwing in voluntary OTAs, and I'm going to be honest with you, I did not know that he was going to throw today either. Look, if we keeping it a buck right here, right? We keeping it a buck, right? Look, I didn't want him to throw. I'll be honest with you. I didn't want him to throw today. I didn't want him to throw tomorrow either. I didn't want him to throw, period, because I love watching these people have meltdowns. It's like I love just sitting back watching, like, oh wow, look at this guy crying, and look at this guy crying, and look at this guy crying. Like, I ain't gonna even lie. I was here for the to watch the meltdowns of why isn't CJ Stroud throwing? Is he injured? Is he holding out? Can he lift his shoulder? And I'm saying to myself, I told y'all already. See, ain't nothing wrong with CJ at all. He hurt himself working out. That was it. I told him a long time ago. So I didn't want CJ to throw. I went with the hopes of him not throwing, but to see him throw, and of course he was rusty. He was rusty. He shook the rust off, and he looked really good. In spurts. There was that clip that's going around with him throwing that pass to Jaden Higgins. Like that was good. That one-handed catch that he made. He overthrew Nico on a very simple pass route. But I went there to see him. I went there to see if Nick Chubb was going to be in pads or not, if they were going to bring him out, and he was on the field. He did go through the drills, but he did not go through the 7-on-7s, and he did not go through the team drills, the 11 on 11s. And so I wanted to see CJ Gardner-Johnson out there for the first time with the rest of the team, and I wanted to see if. So my biggest thing, right? My biggest thing, especially heading into the off season and coming into training camp, is you got a rebuilding offensive line. I need them to establish. I need Cole Popovich and Nick Caley to establish where you're going to put guys or who you want to see going into training camp, and leave them there. Put these guys in these positions and let them work on those positions. And so they can come back in the training camp knowing, okay, so if you're going to play Titus at right guard, then tell Titus, hey, I need you to practice on being a right guard all the way through the offseason and into training camp. And so I wanted to see what these guys were going to look like, as far as just as a unit and as a whole. I'm never worried about watching what the defense is going to do so much, especially not the starters. But when you got a young rookie like Jalen Smith, who made hell of a plays today, he was everywhere on the field. You want to see what he's going to do. You want to see how Keontae Hamilton, the defensive tackle, is going to be able to adjust to just playing at semi NFL game speed. So going into the mini camp, I just wanted to see who was going to be there as far as taking attendance. I wanted to see if CJ was going to throw or not. I wanted to see if Nick Chubb was going to be on the field, and I wanted to take a look at what just some of the not really the running back situation, because they had JJ Taylor out there sometimes with the first unit today. And so I'm like, I'm really not worried about that, but I just wanted to see who was going to be out there and who wasn't. And I thought I was going to get an opportunity to see Jalen Noel out there, but he didn't practice. He was on the
they say he didn't practice. I heard that Sarge is there an injury problem with him already?
So here's the weird thing. I don't know what the actual injury is. I'm going to inquire about it when we get to minicamp on Wednesday. But so he didn't practice the last OTA that we were there, that the media was able to see. So he didn't practice then. He joined the team after doing some work on the backfield, and then when they were finishing up the drills and stuff, he joined the team then. But today he was strictly on the backfield. So I don't know what this injury is. I don't know if it's something to be worried about or if they're just taking precautions, but he's not practicing.
So there's and so you haven't heard anything about, because I didn't hear anything since we drafted him that it could be anything. So maybe something happened in OTAs, probably.
Yeah, and when you have these rookies, these guys coming in, there's a lot of different things that they have to get their bodies adjusted to. Because you think about it, they've been doing things and playing in college for the last 3 to 4 years. So when you get to the NFL, they're like, a lot of these guys will tell you when you all get a chance to sit down and talk to some of these former these current or former players, they'll tell you that the one thing that they had to get adjusted to in the NFL wasn't so much, learning the game speed or learning the plays. It's about learning the schedule and then trying to get your timing together. And so now you're doing this and you're doing that and you're doing this and you're doing that. And, now you're out, you're trying to work out and this and that. Because he could have, like, let's just say he could have tweaked his hamstring in a workout. And now they're just being precaution. They're taking caution to not put him out on the field to make it worse. Like, hey, man, or he could have tweaked the ankle, or he could have, been lifting and something happened to his shoulder or something. Exactly. Like, I feel like this is more of a precautionary thing than it is, something to be completely worried about. Now he has the next 5 to 7 weeks before they start training camp to make sure that he comes back healthy.
I think he should too. I mean, he is a rookie, and I think if it was something serious, they would have put it out there. So maybe it is something small like that, kind of like what we had with D'Amico. Like I kind of like the what D'Amico said in the press conference today, where he kind of had this little unorthodox kind of way of speaking, like, "Oh, CJ was out there throwing today." And it seemed like he had this look on his face of kind of because I'm talking about, I've never seen nobody put a smile on their face and take it back that fast. It's like a millisecond smile, and it's like, hey, I'm trying to be nice, but really on the cool, y'all getting on my nerves with this stuff, man. And I'm trying to just keep it G with y'all. But it is good to see CJ back out there throwing. Looks like himself. Looks like he has the same zip on the ball, that same accuracy. The only ball that did look crazy that I did see is the one where Higgins kind of dropped it. I think it kind of got up on him a little fast. It could have been a little bit off by CJ because it was more to the inside where he was kind of expecting it to the outside. And so something like that, but it seemed like they got that together real quick. Looked like Higgins is gonna be what he what we thought he was gonna be. And Collins, I mean, one thing I love about the Higgins addition is that if you ever thought that Nico needed something or somebody nipping on his heels to kind of keep him optimal, keep him at his best, I think that's what Higgins does. Higgins, because listening to him talk at it was some press conference, I think during OTAs, he was saying that he was learning stuff from the rookie also. He was like, man, looking at him, he was like, dude is like polished, and he's like, man, I'm learning stuff from him. And I guess by them being the same body size and seeing him break down on routes the way he does, like, Nico feel like it's something that he can actually pick up from him too. I think it's going to be a dynamic duo. Something that I was looking for that I'd seen, and I was looking for anything. I was just like, give me anything on Nick Chubb. And I seen Chubb get a handoff where, he didn't do any cutting on this handoff, but it looked like he just had burst. It looked like I seen speed from this dude. And what I tried to do was imagine like all the other running backs running a drill. And so I looked at him and I'm like, dude doesn't seem like he's leaning anywhere to this side, more like he's favoring a knee or anything. He looks healthy. Clinically, he looks the part. And you say that they didn't put him out there for the other things and other the 7-on-7s. Do you think that's because of his foot injury? Like they're still kind of making sure that his foot's all the way good? Because I know they're not worried about the knee. I know it's more probably a foot thing.
So one of the first questions that I asked D'Amico on Tuesday was his injury history with the knee and the broken foot that he sustained 6 months ago, was there, did that come into play any when they were making the decision to sign him? And he said, well, we knew about the injury history. We know, what he's going through. He said, but here's a guy that, that basically that we're taking a chance on, because he said that it's not easy to work out and rehab at the same time. He said, and so basically what he said was they're giving him an opportunity. I'm going to tell you what it looks like to me. And I said this on my show, and I said that, I think that Nick Caserio is playing chess again and following that same Cam Akers blueprint, to whereas, hey, we may be able to use this guy, but if not, we can showcase him enough to trade him to get something, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when you look at it, they're also looking at it from the Cam Akers perspective of, hey, we've been through this before. We went through this last season with the guy who was coming out. What Cam Akers had 2 Achilles tears.
2 Achilles, yeah.
Yeah, and so I mean, he was out here just working out. They brought him in, and he was able to catch on with the Minnesota Vikings. And so they know the injury history of Nick Chubb. They know what he's coming back from. And so that's what they're monitoring, and that's what they're watching. And they're not going to put full stock in, hey, man, we're going to get the 2022 Nick Chubb back. All D'Amico said was, hey, here's a guy that's trying to fight back from adversity. D'Amico used himself as an example and said, I've been through injuries where I had to try to work out and rehab at the same time to get back to a point of playing high-level football. And so that's all they're really going to monitor going into training camp and throughout training camp, is if they could watch him and see, has he fully recovered? Because you remember in 2023, he only played 2 weeks, and then he tore his knee up. And that's the same knee that he had messed up in 2015. That's the same knee he had messed in 2020. Then he tore the knee up in 2023. And then when he broke his foot in December of 2024, which was on the same leg that he had the knee injury, so like just trying to take a simple handoff, right? Or was just making a simple, and he broke his foot. A simple cut. I know that it was something that really didn't involve him being in the play. And so, and he's 29 years old. So they also are taking all of that into consideration, because when you go back and you look at like a 2022 second team All-Pro Nick Chubb, you're like, damn. And then you go back and look at, the years prior to that, but you also got to realize it's an older running back who has injury history, who has taken a lot of hits. And, if you want my conspiracy theory, and what I've been saying is, if he sticks around and he's able to give the Texans, some quality backup carries, I'm cool with that. But I'm also cool with if they keep him around to mentor a running back like Woody Marks, because there's a lot of Nick Chubb in Woody Marks.
Mm-hmm. And that's another thing too that I look at with Chubb. And speaking on what you said about what happened with the running back that we traded to the Rams, Akers, last year, there was a point in time in the season last year where I really was hoping that was really wishing that we hadn't traded Akers. And this is why I think that they may have brought him in, and this is what I hope anyway, is that he actually sticks on the team and he's an insurance just in case, if Joe has to miss a few games, that at least we still have a quality starter, somebody to go in. Because I know last year when Joe went out, I know I wasn't the only one who was like, oh my goodness, I wish we still had Akers on this team still, because he went over there to the Rams and he had a little bit of success over there. So, and I know that it's been me and Sarge just chopping it up. So I gotta pass it on to my guys. Do y'all have any questions that y'all want to ask Sarge about minicamp? Oh, first, before y'all do though, I just want to, it's a comment. I don't miss these comments, bro. There's a comment here by somebody, Pastor George Talib, Esquire FBA. He says, the Rapper Ops podcast is a good spot for Sarge to land. Sounds fluid. I think that's the first time I get to use this.
What that mean, nigga?
What does that mean? Does anybody have an idea what that means?
I have not a clue.
Okay, hey, Pastor.
Listen, I'm an Alpha Pledge Fall 98 Ada Gamma chapter down in Prairie View. My line name is actually Rap a Lot.
Oh yeah, and I was signed to Rap a Lot Records. I actually was signed to Rap a Lot Records with the Fifth Ward Juveniles. So I just want to know, what does that mean? Is that towards me? If I'm the rapper op? Who is the op?
Oh no. The ops is me. That I do know. The ops I know is me, but I don't know what rapper ops. I don't understand what that
I
means.
think it's a play on words because they know I'm with rap a lot. Hey, Pastor, you gonna have to explain that one right there. But anyway, like I said, this was my first time getting to use.
What that mean, nigga?
I've been looking for a reason to use that, and there we go. So, hey, anything that y'all boys wanted to bring, man?
Nah, just to answer Pastor real quick, man. Be careful now, man. Somebody like to get maxed out at some point.
He said, my boys know exactly what I'm saying. So y'all must know. Y'all, he talking about y'all, so y'all know what he talking about.
Yeah, I don't have a clue.
And also too, quick shout out to Ninja Cow 222. And the reason why is because I know he's came on the show before. It's been a while since he's been back, but he's a Cleveland fan. And he always comes and gives us our props here. And I tell him how how cool it is, all the trades and stuff that we've had over the years with Cleveland. Like they like our cousin or something. Like they part of the family. I don't know what it is, but he was saying that he wished that they had signed Chubb back. We got him. We're gonna try to take good care of him over here. Hopefully, I hope he does a McGahee. I hope he just surprises everybody in the league this year, and we end up either having to sign him to a contract next year, or he goes somewhere else and makes a big amount of money. Depends on what he does this year. But
let me say this right quick. About 3 to 4 weeks ago, I know Pat should remember, but probably 3 or 4 weeks ago, we was breaking down running back on our show. Remember, we was breaking down offensive line, defensive line, running back. This is not a flex, but this is the first time that it was actually said. And shout out to B Scott. B Scott said something twice that, and this is no shots at nobody at all. So nobody take it away. Take your mess head somewhere else. But if y'all remember in that show, remember I said that Nick Caserio, we was talking about the pickup with Nick Chubb. And I said that I could see Nick Caserio taking that and spinning that the way he did Akers. I don't know if y'all remember that or not. Do y'all remember that? So I was saying that, like, same thing that Sarge said. I don't post a lot on my Twitter timeline or whatever. I said that. I also said about but anyway, I just want to hit on that point. The other point I wanted to hit on was as far as worrying about the injuries. I was like, I looked at that knee injury when it happened, and it happened second week of September. From the first day that we start our game, that'll be a complete 720 days from that injury. I don't have no problem with that. That's number one. Number two, Nick Chubb came into the league at 23 years old. And so the last 2 years, he haven't even played a full, I think he played 8 games 1 year and 2 the next. Dude got some fresh legs up under him. Fresh legs. I mean, but just looking at by the football numbers, if you equate how long you've been in the league, been out for the last 2 years, and like you said, it looks like it. I don't think you're going to have any problem with that knee. Now, I know that knee have injury, got an injury history to it.
Yeah.
But I'm going to tell you something, man. This is probably Nick Caserio's best free agent signing ever. That's not a hot take. You know why?
Hey, you can't get high of your own supply, Stringer. And don't Stringer.
Hey, check this out. Y'all know that Chubb was having a legendary type career the way he started his career. I don't think y'all realize it.
So
do y'all know? Let's stick to football. Come on, take that crayon and keep inside of the circle. So
I'm just saying it's the same thing we're talking about.
No, it's not. No, it's not. Follow me, bro.
Okay.
I want you to look at the first 20 running back in NFL history, leading rushers. And you look at them, see, I look at certain things. I know people look at touchdowns, total yards, and I've always told y'all yards per carry.
Yeah,
I always told y'all. I told y'all why I felt like Nico was a top 3 wide receiver. It was yards per catch. It was one year him and Ayuk was battling. They was like 18, 19, 20 yards per catch. That's what I look at. You are a downfield effective playmaker. Do y'all know that Nick Chubb started his career averaging 5 yards a carry for the first 6 years?
Mhm.
Nobody in NFL history has ever done that.
Damn.
5.0, 5.2, 5.3. He started his whole career that 6th year when he blew out his knee. He was right at 6.2 yards a carry. This man was doing things that no other running back have done. And Nick was able to sign him for 2.5. He's the same age as really Joe Mixon, and Dore is a little bit older than him, and Woody is an old rookie. If Nick has any type of great year, we have options to say, well, damn, do we ride with Nick and don't take that last year on Joe's contract? Like, I mean, it's the cheapest contract. 2.5 is cheap. Dore is making 1.8. They're not even in the same conversation. So when I say one of the greatest free agent signings, I'm talking about just by production and what he's done in the past. Now, the injury history has to be put into effect. We have to think about that. Like, but I don't think of him as being injury prone because when he was out on the field, he produced better than anybody in the NFL. I'm talking about Barry Sanders, OJ Simpson, you name it. They didn't start off averaging 5 yards a carry. I mean, every time he touched the rock, he was putting you at 2nd and 5. That is a great pickup, bro.
I'm
Most
gonna go after
definitely.
you, Patton. I'm gonna go after you, Patton.
Damn. Jamal Charles had one more year averaging 5 yards a carry. I seen that earlier today. And those guys are 2 totally different type players. They dogs though. But Sarge, my question to you, man. I've been real big on my guy Luke Lacey, man, aka the GOAT from Tight End U. How you looking, man?
So he's learning. Let me just say it that way. He's learning. He's learning. It isn't he's coming. I mean, you've only seen him in voluntary OTAs, and you've only seen him in minicamp. And let me put it like this: he looked just like Cade did at this time last year. He looked exactly like what Cade Stover looked like this time last year. So when you look at you'll be able to tell a little bit more going into training camp. But I'm not gonna even lie to you. He's in a bad spot though. He's in a bad spot, and they may have just picked him up for they may have just picked him up for special teams. But hold on, because I want to see how tall because he's a big guy. He's what 6'6", 247 pounds, right? He's a big. I know he's a big guy. I just didn't remember his actual size. But I mean, you got Dalton right there. You got Cade, who you're trying to bring along, and you're getting Brevin Jordan back. So it ain't too many snaps that's going to be available for him, and they may just put him on he may be one of the guys that they put on the practice squad and keep him there to develop until next season when I'm pretty sure Dalton won't be back, and because I think Brevin only signed a 1-year contract, correct? Mm-hmm. So Brevin is on another prove-it year. They're really, really high on Cade, and so Cade could eventually be the starter, and then that may be a way that he works his way in.
So I caught you. I was listening to your show earlier, and you was talking about the tight end design with Dalton and Cade.
Ooh,
and my mind instantly went to Luke. I was like, man, if they doing that with them, I can only imagine what they're gonna do with him. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and I'm not too familiar with him all the way though. Is he really, really good? Like, I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm not too familiar with him.
Well, look, since you're here, let me tell you about him. So during the offseason, man, I was watching our games. I don't know if you know it now, but I'm a real big Michigan guy. So naturally, I'm always watching our. So I was watching them for Caleb Johnson, the running back, and had a linebacker as well. I was watching, and every time the QB they had, he wasn't great, and no shots at him, but quarterback playing our wasn't really good, and they run a zone. They run the ball 90% of the time. Play action, boot to the outside. They always throwing it to a tight end or dumping it to a running back. But every time this guy was down the field open, soft hands, you're not tackling him like just pushing him over a little bit of contact. He's taking you down with him, and he's running through you. Yeah. Not the fastest guy. Now, what hurt him early in his career was he had an ankle injury. Now, even without the injury, with poor quarterback play, you just have to be watching to see this guy pop off the screen. Yeah. You're not going there to say, who's this guy putting up all these astronomical numbers? Because he's not doing that.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? But he's one of those guys that, and if AD in here, AD, I called this shit. I said, we're going to get him. He's going to be a late round pick. He's going to be the injuries and production is going to be his downfall. But if he goes somewhere in a good system, get a chance to develop, dude's going to be a diamond in the rough for us. All right.
But I thought I only produced linemen and white defensive backs.
Hey, dude.
I thought that's hey, but real quick though, before we go, real quick, can I get back to Killer Cal real quick?
Yeah, go ahead, man.
Cal, I want to just jump back on what you said about Nick Chubb, and don't get me wrong, I'm a Nick Chubb fan. I like Nick Chubb. I've been, I've been always, I've always liked the way that I always liked his running style. But my concern and what I've been saying and when I've been voicing it, and of course, I've been getting a lot of backlash from it, is I understand what you're saying, and I understand what Nick Chubb used to be, and I'm trying to see if they can get 75% of 2022 Nick Chubb, then I'm all for it. But you're talking about a knee that was messed up in 2015. Then you're talking about the same knee that was messed up in 2020. Then in 2023, he completely blew the knee back. And then he rehabbed the knee, and then he broke the foot on the same leg that he's had these knee injuries on. When he came back in those 8 games that he played in for Cleveland last year, the best game he had was against Pittsburgh, where he had like 20 carries, but he only had like 59 yards and 2 touchdowns. And if you're bringing him in, and I get it, you're only bringing him in for spot duty behind Joe Mixon, but this Houston Texans are also rebuilding this offensive line. And last year, the Cleveland Browns, the Houston Texans had the worst offensive line in the NFL, if I'm not mistaken, correct? And the Browns had 20th ranked offensive line in the NFL. And if in those 8 games he couldn't produce behind that line, what do you think? Do you think so? What's your prediction on what you think that this offensive line is going to be? And the reason why I'm asking is because we've seen what Joe Mixon can do behind a bad offensive line. He can still make the Pro Bowl. But can Nick Chubb do that behind a line that's worse than the line that he rushed behind in 2020, that could potentially be worse than the line he rushed behind in 2024?
Well, if you ask me healthy 100%, both of those guys, who's the better running back? I'm going to say Nick Chubb. So to answer your question, if Joe Mixon can run behind a line and he's 100%, because Mixon is having some injury issues, had injury issues last year, some this year. But let's just say both of them come in 100%. If Mixon don't have no problem running behind that line, I don't think that Chubb is. Chubb got 2 1,500-yard rushing years, like rush for 2 years for 1,500 yards. So he knows how to pick the holes. Like he has some pretty decent vision as a running back. As a matter of fact, I think his vision is better than Mixon. But we have to see how the line take place, because the thing about line play is, are you running under the center? We're running a power gap scheme. Are we running in up tempo? Are we running in no huddle? Are we running formations where we line up 2 tight ends and we line them up tight, and then we line up 2 tight ends, motion one out. We run 2 running backs. We motion one out of the backfield. We take
which tight end though, Cal? Because we see Dalton Schultz cannot block.
But here's the thing, though. There's a lot of tight.
Some of that dust on them.
But yeah, right. But you know what? That there has been a lot of tight ends throughout the history was receiving tight ends. The thing about the Texans is we have three pretty good block. Well, I'm gonna say we have three, but it remains to be seen with Lachey, and we hope Stover can make that the next leap. And yeah, those are the two. And then you have receiving tight ends, as Brevin Jordan, as people say, won't make the team, and you have Dalton Schultz. I'm just saying that the offense has so many weapons that they can do so many things that it can keep a defense so off balance that you would have a guy that's coming in the third quarter with fresh legs. Joe Mixon may have, 12, 13 yards in that first half. I mean, 13 carries that first half. Chubb might have two or three. Third quarter, Chubb got fresh legs. He's been able to see, you can see the field. You can see, okay, this is how they playing on this side. I'm telling the coach, hey, it's open if you just be a little patient, whoop de whoop. And you see something that nobody else see, and next thing you know, you can pop one for 50 or 60. So I think after the line is put out there and we're able to see the cohesiveness come together, then the way it worked for Mixon is the way it's gonna work for, because they're the same size, same height, same weight, pretty same similar style. They run with power, run downhill.
Downhill. They downhill.
Yeah,
Like,
contact. They can be elusive. They can run over you. Like they're two very similar backs. So I
Yeah,
think whatever you see after the one, you're gonna see the other one be able to do.
I want to say this. I want to say this real quick, Cal. I want to piggyback basically what you're saying. Chubb, I think first and foremost, when they brought him in for the physical, I think anytime a player has to pass a physical before they sign with another team, especially when you have an injury history, right? Is it common sense, like logical, to think that they did due diligence on his knee? They made sure that his knee was fine before they signed him. Y'all think that they actually kind of signed him on we think his knee is all right, so let's give him $2.5 million. I think they really did due diligence and found out that dude knee is good. I think if it was anything that they would be worried about, which I heard somebody else say it was about his foot, because that's his latest injury, was his foot, breaking his foot. Now I want to say this, also piggybacking on what you're saying about his decisive running. The way he runs the ball, I looked at his 2024 highlights before he got left out with his foot. And I watched him against, and this is a good thing that he played in the NFC. That's the East, right?
No,
The AFC East. The AFC North. My bad. I'm sorry, y'all.
Yeah.
It's good he played in the AFC North because of those teams, right? Because those are the points I want to make. I seen them have decent games against the Ravens last year. I seen them have a decent game, like you even said earlier, Sarge, against the Steelers. I've seen him do some things against way, some big powerful defenses, pause, that he could have that he looked good against. And when you say Cal, about him being a better running back than Mixon, I know a lot of people will be like hell no, what do you mean? But if you look at it, they kind of similar, they have a similar running style. And what makes good as running backs is, like, I'm gonna tell you what makes the difference between a DP and a Nick Chubb or a Mixon. It's the decisive. It's when you make a decision to run, to hit a hole, like Doc just said in the bull ring. You have to make a decision and have vision. If you got the vision to be able to see that, hey, I'm gonna hit this hole and I'm gonna hit it hard. Pause. They hit this, that when they hit it, it's the style of which they run. They don't care if they finna run into a brick wall. They make a decision and they say, I'm going that way. You know what I'm saying? That's the way. What you gonna say?
No, I want Patton to get off in here, but you made a good point. And as you made that point, I was thinking about when you saying Chubb playing against the Steelers, the Bengals, and the Ravens. Same thing with Mixon when he was over there. I mean, playing against that same physical style. So I think, man, both of them, when you look at it, man, it's just like, I mean, it's about just like finding the hole and hitting it. It's just like, being a teenager on prom night. I'm gonna eventually find that hole and I'm gonna hit it, So it's like bro.
But real quick, Cal, let me ask you this though. Let me ask you this. And we're talking about this. What's the day? June 10th, right? We're talking about this in June, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we're still playing, and we're still playing the if game. We're not playing the definitive game. We're still playing the if he's healthy. If we know what we haven't seen Nick Caley call one play yet. We don't know what everybody's just assuming what his offensive play calling is going to be. If that offensive line, the only certainty you know about that offensive line is that Titus Howard is going to start on it somewhere. So there's still a lot of uncertainty there. And in June, we can play the if game. Now, listen, if he comes in, he's healthy, and he go, like I said, and I've said this on numerous occasions on record. Hey, look, if he gives you 75% of what he was in 2022, then I'm all for it. Hey, look, look, man, I will come back on this show. I've already said I'll do my show. I'll come on this show. I told AD I'll come on their show. I'll have him on my show to say, hey, I was wrong. I don't have a problem with saying I'm wrong. I just think that as of today, that you could be 50% right and I could be 50% right. And until the things play out, then we're going to see. Because what if he's not even on? What if they trade him? What if they trade him to get picks, and then all of this chatter that we've had from this point, out the door? But here's my question: when you look back at Joe Mixon missed how many games last year? 4?
I want to say
3 or 4?
No, it's 2 or 3. I think he played 15 games last year.
So the one thing I can say about Joe Mixon is the best ability is availability. And Joe Mixon got hurt on an illegal tackle. He got hip dragged down. So now I'm just saying we're going to play the if game. If he doesn't, get illegally hip tackle like that. Now, matter of fact, he missed 2 games from that. And then the other game that I think he missed like 3 or 4 games because he missed a game where he got illegally tackled again. Because I remember him coming into the press conference and telling us that they said they was going to do something about this, and they ain't done nothing about it yet. And I've been tackled illegal on more than one occasion, and they still haven't done what they needed to do. So all I'm saying is, and I know Pat, my bad for taking your time. Hey, you gotta be like, I'm reclaiming my time.
No, you good. So,
but just real quick, I'm just saying, like at this point, Kyle, I'm not here to tell you you're wrong, Nitty, you're wrong, Pat. I'm not here to say y'all wrong. All I'm saying is at June 10th, I disagree, and I'm on this side of if.
Yeah, you need to see you like how Doc is. Doc said the other day he was like he from Missouri.
Well,
hey, tell me if y'all can hear this right quick, Patton, as you get ready to go into what you about to say. Can y'all hear that?
I can.
Oh yeah.
And then put those balls back up that you just had paused.
Oh yeah. He sure do look like Serious Styles over there.
Do it again. I just need you to do it for the people in the crowd, man. There you go. That's the Boys in the Hood reference right there.
Yeah. Hey, nah, for real. He's sitting there just.
Hold on, I had to do it, bro. Nigga, I'll go. I seen you doing that. I said, hold on, let me find this team right.
Look, I was thinking to myself, like, look, I'm gonna put it to you like this, man. I don't have much to say about the Nick Chubb signing for the simple fact that I know as a fan of the team, we aren't used to getting names to come here. So when there's people always want to they sign this person, sign that person. Anytime somebody get released from a team, the fan base goes crazy. Sign this person, sign that person. So now we finally got a name. All right, cool. I'm gonna let everybody else dissect it. Let everybody get how they feel about it out. But keep the main thing the main thing. And for me, this team's only gonna go as far as the offensive line take them. CJ can go out there and throw for 6,000 yards, 70 touchdowns. But if he gets sacked 175 times, what the fuck do it matter? Sorry for cussing. So my biggest thing is like I need this offensive line I need to know what it's gonna be like. And I said this during the draft. Like we're not gonna know what this offense looks like until training camp, until the preseason, and really week 1. You know what I'm saying? We in LA. So but my question for Sarge is though, one of my guys from Go Blue, man, Ladarius Henderson. How is he transitioning? Like, where is he on offensive line? Is he guard, tackle, center? Like, where is he? Where have you seen him? And how is he looking?
I haven't gotten a chance to actually observe Ladarius, because when he's in, I put like when Ladarius is in, I'm looking a lot more at the young defensive backs that are in the game, or I'm mostly focusing on like Keontae Hamilton when he's in the game, or just looking and seeing, because when he's in the when he's actually in, and like I said, I'm gonna be honest with you, from OTA, I didn't see him really in OTAs, and I was not looking for him. I wasn't looking for him today. I went in with specific people that I wanted to see, that I want to look at, and certain positions that I want to see. And then when CJ was throwing, then that just changed a whole lot of other stuff. And so I'm going to be honest with you. Tomorrow, I will get an opportunity, and I'll make sure that I tag you in whatever I see with him. Only because I'm looking at when he's in, when that unit comes into the game, or with the unit that he's coming in with, maybe like the third unit, or the 3A, 3B unit, or whatever the case may be. That's a lot of the times when you have like Justin Watson in the game, when you have Xavier Hutchinson be working with that group sometimes, John Mechie be working with that group sometimes, Luke, the tight end, is working with that group. And so I don't pay attention to the offensive line so much as I'm looking at some of these other positions. Like I say, like the wide receiver room is crowded. They're not going to be able to keep everybody. They may be able to put some on the practice squad, but they're not going to be able to. I don't know how many of those wide receivers they're going to be able to keep, because quiet is kept, and a lot of people don't like this young man, and I get it. I definitely AD and I had a conversation about him. But I'm gonna tell y'all, man, Jared Wayne is a really good wide receiver, y'all.
I know it.
Jared Wayne is a really good wide receiver. And you look at, so I'll be looking at seeing what he's doing. He's getting better as time goes. So during that time, that's what I'm looking at, because you also got to remember this too, right? With all those wide receivers, you still got Braxton Berrios, who hasn't practiced yet. And so that wide receiver room is very crowded. So I'm going to be honest with you. I'll be looking at that to see how these guys are performing, because every rep for them, every rep that goes on film could either make them or break them heading into training camp.
It's crucial.
Yeah.
So they out there playing to the T. Petrie said that too. Petrie said the wide outs. He said, man, they out there making plays. Like, they taking every rep serious. And if you ain't on your note, they'll make you look stupid out there. He said,
real quickly, since we're talking about the offensive line, though, one of the things that I talked about on the Texans happy hour, and one thing that I tweeted out about the offensive line today, especially that first unit going up against Danielle Hunter and Will Anderson Jr. And there's not I said this and I'll say it again, there's not a lot of tackles in the NFL, not just the AFC. There's not a lot of tackles in the NFL that's going to stop Will and Danielle. Point blank, period. They're not. So you're asking Cam Robinson and Blake Fisher to do a lot. You're asking Ariante to do a lot going up against those guys. I mean, Blake went against Danielle all pretty much for the entire training camp last year, because remember, Laramie was out. Titus was out, and so he was playing the majority of the right tackle, left tackle combination, and he was going up against Danielle, and he was going up against Will. And so I understand, and Will has done nothing but gotten better, y'all. I'm gonna tell y'all that right now. I last year, before he got hurt in the Jets game, you remember he had just made AFC Defensive Player of the Month, and then he got hurt. But Will was on a trajectory to be All-Pro to me, because with the numbers and the way that he was playing, and talking to Will, talking to Will off the record, having conversations with Will off the record, he he thinks about that. Like that's one of the things that's fueling him heading into the season. One of the things that's fueling him, one of the things that has him on 10 right now is he's like, I don't get hurt, I make all pro because I know the type of season that I was having, and I know that I was just getting ready to take it up to another level. So I preface my statement by saying those two, they're hard to stop. I get that. But one of the reasons why I said today about the offensive lineman, and when I said we're going to have to talk about the offensive lineman, because Will and Daniil had gotten off the ball before Cam Robinson and Blake Fisher had even gotten out of their stands. That's fundamental. Fundamental says that, hey, man, you know the snap count. You know when the ball's going to be hiked. How are these guys beating you? There was one play, and I tweeted this out. There's one play. Will and Daniil beat the tackle so bad, they were almost in the backfield before those guys came out of their stands. At one point, they were close enough to high-five each other. By the time the play finished, they were running into each other to avoid hitting CJ. It's about like they had to avoid hitting CJ, and CJ stepped up. But I'm saying to myself, okay, wait a minute. Now, hold on. I know these guys are good, but Jesus, like something. Like, wait a minute, time out. And came back around again, and they're just beating these guys off of before. I'm like, you've been playing football your entire life, and I understand this may be you're learning from Cole Popovich, you're learning a new offense. I get all of that, but the fundamentals say if you got somebody in front of you and the ball is hiked, you got to get out of your stand. And these guys are just, yeah. So that's my issue. I'm like, hey man, that fundamentally, no matter whether you're in shorts, t-shirts, draws, long gowns, whatever you in, like you got to at least know you got to come out of your stance. Like you got to at least pinch. Hey, what they say on Players Club, you got to at least pinch the
pinch them. Did you pinch the mother? Now, see, what I look at is that line, right? When you look at, because I heard Seth Payne say this on Twitter. He said, looking at the offensive lineman go up against Daniil and Will, he says, being that there's no pants on, he says he's not going to walk away from this practice looking at them as any better or any worse. He said that it's not going to make any difference because they didn't have pants on. But reading that, I could tell what he was saying in between the lines is that basically the O-line got their ass whooped today, and that he's not going to leave minicamp thinking like, oh, we in trouble with the offensive line. It's just that Will and Daniil, and we talked about this on the show before, we talked about how they should make those guys better because you're going against elite pass rush on your own team. So by the time Ursery or Fisher or, which we know Ursery probably not going to start, but, going against those guys in practice should make him be able to go against anybody in the league. You should be able to go up against anybody except you may have some problems with Garrett out there in Cleveland, but anybody else should be like, okay, if I went against these guys, I'm not scared of nobody. So if they out there getting a butt whoop like that, I would like to believe that it's probably because they don't have pads on. But the way you making it sound, Sarge, is like these dudes' feet were stuck to the ground, and they because even if you ain't in pads, you still got to be able to just jump and get in the way of somebody, get in the way. You know what I'm saying? And if they couldn't do that, I don't know if that's a testament to how good Will and Daniil are going to be this year.
Hey, all I can say is from a lineman's point of view, when you getting ready to block somebody, they teach you up here, right? You ain't got no pads on. There's only so much I can do up here without actually hurting you. You know what I'm saying? So I can understand to a degree that the outsides is getting work. Now the inside, the interior, y'all gonna bump heads. Y'all pretty much right here with one another. You may be a swim, catch, wax on, wax off, but for the most part, for the outside to get work like that, it's good for the DNs. We in rare form. Bad for the tackle. All right, I know I gotta get back quicker. I gotta do this better. I gotta do that better. So it's like iron sharp as iron at the end of the day with those guys. But once the pads come on, I can actually lock in and stand you up. Then we gonna know.
One of the good, a couple of things that I see. Oh, my bad, Cal.
No, another thing too is in training camp, the advantage goes to the speed ends. You know why? Because they're going off the same snap count.
Yeah.
So you asking a guy that's 255, 260 coming out of the blocks like a sprinter, and you got a guy that's 320, 315, 330 backing up. The disadvantage without pads on, like I don't have nothing to grab. And anybody that played offensive line know that 99% of the time, if you keep it on the inside of your shoulder pads, it's all legal. It's only when it get to the outside.
Mm-hmm.
You got to come out of your hands though in order to get your hands up.
But guess who got the advantage? The guy that's 265 going forward versus the guy that's 325 going backwards, and he knows the snap count. So I mean, hopefully that they're able to do that against all other teams, and both of them have 20 sacks, and I'll be like, cool.
Yeah, that's
but
what I'm
that to me,
the
concern, like Patton just said, the concern for me is when the pads come on and they're not getting out of their stands and they're still getting blown by. Because if you remember, and I pretty much got a good memory. I was telling Nitty. We was having last couple of shows. Nitty was like, man, how you feel about CJ not throwing? How do you feel about the line this? And I always tell Nitty, I don't care about nothing until the pads come on. Remember that, Nitty? I said, I don't care about nothing until the pads come on, because I go back to 86 to 89 when I was practicing. It was totally different when the pads came on, bro, because I was able to, fatigue set in. You ain't just jumping off the ball real quick because, the snap count. We working on taking a snap on 2, whatever. We taking silent snap counts. So it's a lot of things that's going to go into effect. So, I mean, getting out of your stand and see, here's the fundamentals that they're working on. They're being able to see that you going against 2 of the best rush ends. That means y'all got to work on getting up out of y'all stand. So I don't disagree with you, Sarge, at all.
No,
that give them something to go back and say, damn, these boys are fast as hell. I need to get back. I need to get back on my giddy up.
I was just gonna add 2 things though. One, they were doing different today. They were doing different snap counts. I noticed that they were doing some different snap counts. Now, I don't know how much of that is because, like I said, there's a lot going on. You're trying to get as much as you can and see what you can. So I don't know. But here's my thing though. And I don't get me wrong, Cal, like you and AD and even John Hickman, man, when it comes to these offensive linemen, defensive linemen, man, I defer because I've talked to you and I know you know what I'm saying? So I hear what you're saying, and I would agree with you if I hadn't watched an epic battle last week between Titus when they moved him to right tackle and Will. They went up against each other 3 times. Will won twice. Titus won once, right? So Will got him first. Titus got him second. But on that third one, Will pulled out a move that nobody had ever seen this, because Matt Burke talked about this in his press conference. He's like, he put a move that I had never seen before. And that's when I tweeted out, Will is running to the sideline saying, stop effing playing with me. Hey, don't effing play with me. Y'all better stop effing with me, right? And that was like the move he did made everybody go, ooh, right? That's how bad he beat Titus. But so like I see that, I see what you're saying, but like I'm saying, I'm like, well, when I watched Titus and Will go at it, it was totally different. So I don't know.
One thing you got to look at tendencies too, because Titus got 34 games of watching Will and plus 2 off seasons, 2 OTAs. So he knows Will. Like that's one thing about it, man. I played up against a dude that was All-American, went on to Oklahoma and had a cup of coffee at Miami, dude named Aubrey Beavers. I mean, looked like somebody just took out a crayon and just drew this Negro.
What you know about Aubrey? Out of Jack Yates.
Jack Yates, yeah.
My mom Aubrey's aunt was really cool. So I just got through talking about Aubrey Beavers last weekend, bro. You're gonna live a long time.
Man, and bro, I'm playing tackle. Bro, Aubrey is 6'2", 6'3", probably by at the time 222, 25, quick as a jackrabbit. I'm 5'10" at the time. This was my junior year, so 5'10", probably about 230, but I run a 4.7. I got quick feet. My wingspan is 6'9". So bro, all I got to do is keep you in front. And he was going around. I mean, he was just trying to do everything. Once I learned his tendencies, he couldn't even get around me. And my coach Reed, rest in peace. Coach Reed said, "Hey, Elvis, put that steering wheel on it." That means, hey
He
man,
went to the Dolphins, right? He played for the Dolphins.
play for the Dolphins a little bit. Dude looked like, man, he came and bro, I looked at that dude midsection. That dude's six pack had a six pack. I mean, that's when they was wearing them half shirts too. I was like, oh my God, bro. I'm like, but it's hey. And coach said, hey man, just get back in your stand. So one thing about that, Sarge, is I had to be able to get back. And so as a tackle, Pat to tell you this, when you play on a guard and you setting up the pocket, is your step back is 1-2. Tackle is 1-2, 1-2. And coach said he gotta come to you. So either he's gonna come to the inside and you push him all the way down. He said, Elvis, if he come to the inside, block his ass all the way to the right tackle. Just drive him. And if he go to the outside, you just take him where you want to go. But eventually he got to get to that quarterback. So what I was saying to you is that is something that they have to work on. And this was a preseason game at TSU Stadium, 1989. George Floyd was out there, and Yates did beat our ass. And I'm not gonna even tell the score, but it was a scrimmage game. But dude, he couldn't even touch my quarterback.
So this
Couldn't
was
touch
when you
him.
was at North Forest ISD.
This was Forest Brook. It
The
wasn't North Forest.
They don't even have them records no more. So I don't know if you lying or telling the truth.
Hey, on that note, we about to end this show. Sergeant, you coming in.
I was just about to say, man, we have reached the hour point, and what I wanted to do before we got out of here, man, is go into the bull ring as we do. Before I give out the shout outs, I'm trying to see if there were any questions for Sarge in here. And I seen one earlier, so look, I'm scrolling right now.
It was from Brandon.
Yeah, it was from Brandon, I believe. It said,
Man.
let me see, Chubb recovered, just got, hold on, y'all, bear with me.
What's that big offensive lineman? Stamps that went to Smiley? Was that his last name?
Joe Stamps, yeah.
Big dude. He went to I thought he went to Oklahoma too, right?
He went to Oklahoma, yeah.
Why did I think his name was Harry Stamps? I don't know.
No, Joe Stamps.
Hey, did you see? Okay, there you go. It says one question. This is right here. It says one question I haven't got to ask is whether Popovich has been acting different or coaching differently since he became the primary O-line coach.
Hell yes. That man got so much energy, man. I'm telling you, that man, like he it look like he wants to suit up and jump out there on the field with him. When they be going through the drills, it's almost like he getting ready to play himself. And so yeah, he is. And one of the things he's doing, he's holding them accountable. Hey, you mess up, you do something wrong, he gonna come and tell you, hey man, that's not the move. That is not the move. So he's holding them accountable. He's making sure that he's making sure that they know that he's going to be there. He's going to coach them up. I had an opportunity to speak with 2 weeks ago. I spoke with Juice Scruggs, and I was talking to Juice, and I asked him about him, and he said, you can tell that he has come in and he has. So real quickly, I told y'all why. Well, I mean, y'all know, if y'all heard me talk about why D'Amico kept talking about one voice, right?
Mm-hmm.
I told you all about that. And so with that, and now Juice was like, we have that one voice in the room. We have that one voice in Cole Popovich. We're going to listen to him. We're going to leave because Cole knows exactly what he's talking about. Now, here's the thing. Does he have the talent to carry out his vision? That's, that's something that, we got to wait to see, because he has a lot of veterans on that team, but he has a lot of older veterans. Then he got some young guys on the offensive line. He got some young guys on that offensive line who just doesn't have the experience. And so you're talking about a guy who's been coaching offensive line for so long and knows the intricacies and the nuances of everything. And it helps that him and Nick Caley are really close and they're on the same page and they have pretty much the same mindset. So I'm just thinking that he is going to coach them up to the best of his ability.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I want to say something real quick too. Oh no, this is another question right quick. This question was from who is this? Okay, this is from DQ right here. He says, salute. He said, would Jair be a good pickup for the Texans?
Sheesh. So look, I like him because I like his attitude. I like that he wanted to choke Stephon Diggs. He when they said Green Bay, he didn't back down. And I didn't want Stephon to get hurt, of course, but I was just like, hey man, this dude ain't backing down. So I like him. I like his attitude. I watched him a lot because my wife is a Packers fan, and so she's a real Packers fan too. Like she watches the game. My issue with him is I would love to have, but it's two things. One, he can't stay healthy. He can't stay healthy, and if he can't stay healthy, then you're not doing nothing but picking up another Jimmy Ward, right?
Exactly.
That's one. He can't stay healthy. Then two, one of the reasons why I don't think he's with the Packers is because of his ego. And so he comes where he gonna play if he comes to the on the Texas defense? He's gonna have to be a backup. Yeah, if he has to be a backup, I don't think that that's gonna sit well. So I think he's looking to go somewhere where he can start. He might try to see him with the Cowboys. The Cowboys may take a chance on him, but he can't stay healthy. And if you can't stay on the field, then you're not good to nobody.
Yep. And we got another one from Texans Tangents. Hey, what's up, my guy? He say, who surprised you today at practice? Like, you go out there and you was like, oh my God, like you were surprised.
CJ Stroud. And the reason why I say he surprised me because for one, he threw today at minicamp, but two, you can tell he was a little rusty, but you can still see, man, CJ still got it. He still got it. So I'm like, okay, so we haven't seen him throw. I know that he has been throwing. We just didn't have an opportunity to see him throw. So I seen CJ thread some needles. And look, let me say this, y'all. Let me say this real quick before we get up off here. Let me drop this on. I ain't said this nowhere else, but I'm just gonna say it to y'all. CJ's happy. I haven't seen CJ happy since his rookie year. CJ was not happy his last year. He was not. CJ was not happy. It did not look like he was having fun. And I know this has only been OTAs, and I know this has only been one day of mini camp, but CJ has that same look about him, that same spring in his step, that same movement, that same leadership, that same competitiveness, that same trash talk, because he's trash talking the defense too. So he has that same competitiveness that he had once he got himself acclimated and got his feet on solid ground his rookie year. You can see that again. He has that. He got that look about him where he's like, I'm back, right? He has that look. Now we won't know fully until he get in the training camp, but just even when he wasn't throwing at OTAs, the way that he was taking that leadership role of talking to those wide receivers and, listening to the plays, watching the plays, talking to the offensive linemen, it just looks like you could tell he has that spring in his step. He and that has a lot to do with Nick Caley. You heard him talk about how much he loves Nick Caley.
Exactly. I just see him just beam up and bright and talk about him when he was at the podium. And I want to say something real quick, and I want to send this out to Doc, man. Dr. Payton. I know that you've seen that CJ press conference today, and I'm pretty sure that he said some things that probably rubbed Doc the wrong way. I know it did, because Doc is one of those ones who's definitely said on this show that he hates any time that New England reference is based. That's what we're trying to do in Houston. He hates it. So I just knew today that it balled your skin, because it made me happy, but I know it had to get to him when he heard CJ say that me and Nick have been sitting back, going back, looking at 02, 03 Tom Brady. They going back looking at the Brady, man. That gets me excited. I don't care if you going back there and you looking at the GOAT, because if I think that there's anybody, and I've been seeing a lot of quarterbacks since Tom Brady, if there's anybody who can be a resurgence of what Tom Brady was, that can get in that offense. Because see, the thing, like I try to tell Doc all the time, you're right, that offense has been took to a whole lot of different teams and it failed. But it wasn't the system, it's the player. It's Tom Brady. See, they wasn't able to take Tom Brady to those other teams. That's why that system did not work. So what you got to realize is that with CJ, the type of precise quarterback that he is, put the ball anywhere and thinks about running last. His whole mind is throwing down that field. If there's anybody who can take and run that 0-2, 0-3 New England defense, look. Hold on right quick. I got to use my video right quick for that one.
What that mean, nigga?
Okay, but anyway, look, all I'm saying is with them watching Tom Brady, they got me excited because that means that they're going back to some of the best times that their defense was ran, and when it was at its optimal, when it was running on that supreme unleaded. Hey, I'm all for it, Doc. And I know, like I said, you did not want to hear that, but man, that made me excited. Cal, what did you think when you heard that?
This is what I thought, and this is one of the things I don't get involved in every conversation, but and I said this on the show. I try to keep things to the show. Being a game manager when needed is not a bad thing. We know CJ can be a game changer. Mm-hmm. We know he can make every throw, make great decisions, but we want that CJ, that rookie year CJ, that year he threw 3 interceptions in one game, and the rest of the games he only threw 2. That means he's managing the game enough to not lose, but when it was time to make plays, he made the play. So I break it down to this, and I wrote these down. I'm glad you brought me up. But on design rush plays last year, they ran the ball 38% of the time. That was ranked 20th. That was a reason why you went out and got another bell cow type of. You can't depend on DP. You can't depend on Dart. Like those guys was there last year, and these are the percentages that you have. And if Mixon do get hurt a little bit, and I bring in, like Sword say, he's 75%. Those percentages changes. Rushing TDs, they 25, they was ranked number 20th. Yards after contact, 1.55. That's ranked 28 in the NFL. Third down conversions, percentages, 41%. That's dead last. They was going to improve this run game because D'Amico's been saying for 2 years, we want to be physical, tough, and run the ball. So we know CJ is going to throw the ball because Nick Caley went out there and got him some weapons to play with. It's like I want to see CJ with the weapons that he had at Ohio State. But in order for us to win, we have to run the ball. Because if we're ranked 20th on design run plays, I guarantee you everybody that was in the playoffs had run design plays more than us. And those guys that run more and run more effectively and efficiently, they go further in the playoffs. So that's one thing that they look at. They look at those analytical numbers and say, man, we can have a top 3 defense. So they're looking at the New England side. Tom Brady, don't make mistakes, make the throws when you need to. But we got better weapons for you. So now if my offensive passing is top 10, 7-10, and I can get my rushing down to the top 10, 7-10, that's automatic Super Bowl. Like you have a complete team. Last year's team was messed up because Bobby Slug, and there's something else you said, and I'm not trying to go on a tangent because I know we're kind of over time, but you said CJ wasn't happy. I've been saying for a long time, man, and people starting to repeat what I said, not a flex, but I listen to what people said. I said, I've never seen an offensive coordinator that's on the sideline that don't talk to his quarterback after an interception or a touchdown. He never interacted with him. CJ never had his mouth. And that's a 22-year-old. He's still a kid. He's still trying to find his way in the NFL. And this is how a veteran offensive coordinator. Now, when I say veteran offensive coordinator, I mean Bobby Slowick been in the NFL for a long time.
Yeah,
He's been around the NFL game. So you are my immediate leader. Gerard is just he's a person that I can interpret the language and he can say, hey, do this, do that. But you are my guy. And you're not talking to me? Oh, man, like that gets into your mind as a 22. It's like, man, if I do something great, this guy don't even come and congratulate me. Never seen a high five. Frank Ross and D'Amico be
first season, yeah. Second season, not at all.
Yeah. So now he has that monkey off his back. He can play free, and now he have two guys that's going to hold people accountable, but they have excitement in the room. And if you ever work for somebody who is very excited to come to work and do their job, and they're a leader, it's infectious.
Listen to what he said about Nick Caley today. When I asked him about Nick Caley's offense, go back and listen to what he said.
Oh no, he was excited.
He'll be calling me at 6 a.m.
It looked like he's totally okay. We got one more. Shout out Sideline Sarah.
Sarah.
Hey, most definitely. I guess we got this one last one that we're gonna do, y'all, before we get out of here. Sarge, is Woody Marks hurt?
Not that I know of. I haven't heard anything about Woody Marks being hurt, but I will look into that tomorrow. On top of looking into and watching. I didn't know, so it's safe for me to say Ladarius Henderson on here, right?
Oh,
Blue, go blue,
go blue.
Oh.
Cal know what I'm talking about. Cal know what I'm talking about.
Oh, hey.
Oh, you do too, man.
Hey, one more thing before we get out of here. Look, I know Cal was talking about these players from the 70s and shit, man. I was born in 89, all right? So, yeah, I love you, Cal, but look, the great guys I played against in high school was, they went to Yates, of course. You know what I'm saying? They went to, shout out to the Yard. I want to say he played for your team, Sarge, Ori Lemon and Damian Square.
Hi, hey, you know his brother works for the Rockets, right?
Which one?
Joe.
Seriously?
Joe is the head of security for the Rockets. Joe guards Tillman too.
Okay.
He guards him. But go back and look at some of these Rockets games, and then when they get into the scuffles, and you see the little skinny black dude that run on the court.
Yes.
That's Joe. Damian coaching now in college.
That's crazy.
He got him a college coach. And real quick, Nitty, I will say this real quick, Nitty. I'm glad that that you were able to bring that up about how CJ and Nick Caley said they were going back and watching film of Tom Brady because we know in North Forest ISD all them games got erased. So Cal can't go back. Cal can tell us anything. Cal can tell us that he had 17 pancakes in the game. They don't have no recollection.
We got no proof to disprove them.
They don't have nothing. Cal don't even have his diploma. He got to get a Chat GPT and be like, can you make me a North Forest ISD?
Hey, they done took y'all whole dispensation from y'all school, bro. What the?
Man, y'all a flower at that park right there.
Yeah, I went to Forest Brook too, man, for about a year. So, hey, you know what I'm saying? I went to Barbara Jordan, but hey, not too much on Forest Brook, man. Hold on, what the?
Raw Shaw ain't got them problems though. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to good old Raw Shaw, man.
Hey, these say you got disrespect.
Shout out to the original Arthur Dunn. He was there. Rest in peace.
He ain't got no diploma either.
Hey, watch out, man.
You ain't got no kindergarten pictures for North Forest ISD.
Hey, I will tell y'all this, man. This show has been fun, Sarge. Make sure we're gonna give you the when we're able to come and do the happy hour thing with you, we're gonna work on that ASAP. We want to be able to bring you back on the show soon, man. Probably during training camp if it's possible. You know what I'm saying? Because we know that you be out there with your feet right in the street on the beat. You know what I'm saying? And so it's good to be able to have that relationship with you to where we can talk to somebody who's right out there, man. If y'all are not familiar, you've been living under a rock. But if you are not familiar with Big Sarge Media, man, y'all make sure y'all give him a follow on X. And I'm pretty sure we're on Instagram, everywhere, Facebook, probably, and it's everything, all Big Sarge Media.
No. Big Star Sports with the Z at the end on the
Oh,
app.
Big Star Sports. I'm sorry, yeah.
On the app formerly known as Twitter and on Instagram. Because we do everything for the gram. And I just want people to go and subscribe to the Texans Tailgate Talk, all one word podcast, and YouTube page, man. There's some great things. Matter of fact, if I can say this real quickly, on that Texans Tailgate Talk YouTube page, when I finish talking here, I'm going to edit it, and by tomorrow morning when you all wake up, go to the page and you'll have an exclusive interview from Kalen Bullock. I got a chance to speak with Kalen Bullock today, and he talked about heading into year 2. He talked about he called it the USC Texans, and he talked about the interception that he dropped today, knowing that he dropped the interception after D'Amico told him exactly what was about to happen, and D'Amico was just watching from the side, right? And he seen the first play and the second play, he just like he did Christian Harris, exactly how he did Christian Harris, and he dropped the interception. So there is an exclusive Kalen Bullock. I also have a Derek Stingley Jr. one over there, and I have a Juice Scruggs one as well.
Okay, man. And like I say, man, we appreciate you coming on the show. This was a good one. Just like your boy Pastor just say good flow, enjoyed hating on y'all today. Cause see, no matter what, even if you hate, you still can give congratulations, because this was a good show. I mean, we flowed, we did, I thugged this, you know what I'm saying?
I appreciate you having me, man.
You know, when Sarge talk about Forest Brook, North Forest, and Pastor got something to say, all I want y'all to do is read my name on the screen.
I never seen The Wire though, so I don't know what that means.
Hey, well, when you watch it, you'll show me some respect.
You know what I asked you?
Because the name
What that
was.
mean, nigga?
I have no idea what it means either, but hey,
The name was Killer Cab, but hey, those are 3 killers on that show. So that was just a play on words, man.
Hey, man.
Pat knew what it was when he saw it, man.
I'm gonna leave this for Pastor, man. In the words of Slim Charles. See, the thing about the old days, they the old days. I'm out.
Hey, there you go right there, man. But like I said, man, appreciate everybody. I think we had over 200. As a matter of fact, we got over 236 people in the building right now. We appreciate y'all checking out the Texans on 3 podcast show. Y'all make sure that y'all follow, subscribe, share. We on YouTube, we on X, we on Facebook, and we definitely on the gram. Make sure that y'all follow us, man. And like we said, we appreciate y'all. We appreciate the bull ring. We got to do the bull ring shout outs right quick.
Shout out to my mom. She said, "Cal, I believe you."
Hey, look, we're gonna go down the road. We got Larry Payton in the building. Big shout out to you, my guy. We got Brandon in the building. We got AD. We got Pastor George. We got Ninja Cow 222. We got Corey Barrett. Corey Barrett was in the building. Did I say Pastor George already? But if I didn't, big shout out to him. He was the hater in the crowd today. You gotta have one. Shout out AD, man. Shout out Brandon again. 713, man. Ruben, man. Big shout out to the boy, man. Horace, big shout out to you. Jerome Stevens. Let me see. I think that may be it.
Ninja Cow.
DQ. We got DQ. We got T Jones, most definitely. Alberto Palacios. They used to be my neighbors. I grew up next door to some Palacios. Sideline Sarah, most definitely, man. Appreciate y'all, man. I think that's it right there, man. If I missed anybody, man, charge it to my mind and not my heart, man. We are here every Tuesday 7 and Friday at 7. Make sure y'all tune in this Friday. Next Tuesday, we'll have another guest in the building. We're going to try to start making Tuesdays our guest day, man. And we'll bring somebody else on. But like I said, again, Sarge, man, we cannot thank you enough. Big salutes to you, my guy, for coming in, man. And we'll be looking forward to chopping it up with you again soon. Appreciate everybody that tuned in, everybody out there. Big shout out to the Bull Ring, man. And we are out of here, man. It's the Texans on 3. And we will see y'all Friday. 7 o'clock. We'll be back in the building with more mini camp news, man. Y'all already know what it is, man. Big shout out. We got Texans on 3.